Good afternoon. It's a Wednesday here in north of Tampa. Hi, YouTube. I'm sorry that I wasn't able to do any filming for you last week. I got to North Carolina after a long 2-day drive and found out that my ring light tripod wasn't working. So I couldn't very well do this for my daughter's kitchen. So I'm back in my own today, and I'm feeling that little touch of fall here now in Florida. Very subtle for us, but boy was it different where I was. I was way up in the mountains at 3,000 feet high. You look way up this long, winding road, and then you had to get on another long, winding road, and then you went up this long, steep, winding driveway. And I just said, what do you do in the winter when it snows and ices? We don't leave. That would not be me. But it's stunningly beautiful up there. However, it was cold the whole time. So I'm kind of cold thinking about it. And I thought I'm going to wear something warm today in honor of North Carolina. I have on a bodysuit. It's black knit. And it's got big, long fur cuffs. And I thought, well, why not match it with some high boots that are loaded with fur. I'll show you more of it later. Anyway, I'm making a fall drink today for you called a Mamie Taylor. And this is kind of my version. There's another one, might be more out there on the internet, but I decided I'm going to change it just a little bit. What I've already done is filled this glass with large square ice cubes. I want to make sure that there's no water in here, and there's not. So the first thing that I'm going to do is pour, well, actually before that, I'm going to do this next. We're going to do 4 dashes of Angostura bitters. You kind of have to hunt around for them in the supermarket. They're where they have the maraschino cherries and the dirty olive, that sort of thing. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I love it. It comes out really heavy. Now, next, I'm going to add 2 ounces of scotch, and I'm using Johnny Walker Black. And the recipe calls for a cocktail highball glass, which is usually a taller glass like this. And I can see already that my 3 ounces of ginger ale is not going to fill this glass. So let's just see what happens here. Whoops. It's fizzy. Almost to the top. There's 2. And 1 more ounce is right to about here. Well, it doesn't begin to fill that glass. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn around right here, and I'm going to take this mixture and put the whole thing. There we go. We don't need 3 big cubes. We only need 2. Pardon my fingers, but they're clean. Give it a little stir. Kind of hard to stir these big cubes. And then the recipe calls to add a wheel of lemon. I'm just going to add half of an orange wheel right there. I like that better than drink. Let's try it. This is my first. I didn't mix this up ahead of time, so this is as much of an experiment as anything. Oh, it's good. I like it. Mm-hmm. That's delish. So, what did I do in North Carolina? Well, I'm not happy about driving from Tampa to northwestern North Carolina in one day. So I did it in 2 days. And if you saw my post last week, you might have gotten the gist of that. So I drove to Atlanta the first night, and I stayed in the Norcross area, and there's a great little restaurant out there called Papado, which is a Cajun Creole restaurant that I absolutely love. It's really, really close to where I stay when I used to travel up that corridor. When I had another little small home in upstate New York, I would be up there in the very late spring, early summer, right to the fall when the leaves changed, and then I would make the trip back to Florida. And oftentimes I would take the 85 route instead of 95, which got a little crazy. So that's where I stayed, and I treated myself the first night to a dozen of raw oysters, and then I had a shrimp dish. Actually, I had shrimp and grits. So excellent, excellent, excellent. And I crashed early that night after driving. It was supposed to be about 6 hours, and it took me 7.5 because 85 had an accident, and it just backed right up. It just stopped. If you've ever driven through Atlanta or you live in Atlanta, you know what I'm talking about. That city grew so fast. My ex-husband and I moved there in 1981 for his job, and at that time there were 1.9 million people in Atlanta. Now I've seen a lot of different numbers. I've seen 6 million, I've seen 9 million. I'm really not sure what the correct today number would be. Google it really quickly and find out, but it's sprawled everywhere, and of course it's a major highway from north across Atlanta. A lot of traffic. And then the next day I got an 85, 985, 23, 64, 74. So you know I was up there in that northwest corner of North Carolina. And to my delight, the leaves were changing. And there was some really pretty color. It's mostly oaks and some poplars and some cottonwood. So you don't see those really bright colors that you would see in the Northeast, but it was lovely. And up and up and up and up and up we went. So we went antiquing, and that was fun. And then we went to downtown Dillsboro, which is one of these just charming towns by Silva and Waynesboro. You're maybe another 40 minutes to Asheville. And just hung out, ate good food, visited with family, enjoyed the mountains, enjoyed the 5 cats and the big dog who kept trying to get into my bedroom and climb on the bed. So it was hilarious. But anyway, I was cold the whole time. So I brought warm clothes and I was okay. So I should have had this up there. That would have been perfect. So I hope you'll try this cocktail. Let me know what you think of it. If you don't really like the orange in it, you could use a slice of lemon. But it's nicely balanced. And I think you'd enjoy it for a fall evening in anticipation of Halloween. Tell me what you're going to be for Halloween this year. I haven't decided yet. I think a ringmaster. I have a ringmaster's jacket, and I'm going to find a top hat, and of course I have a whip and high boots, and that's what I'm going to do. So share with me what you're going to do. I missed being with you last week, and I hope you'll tune in again. I will be back here next Wednesday, mixing up some kind of an interesting and different cocktail for you. Oh, and while I'm doing this, let me reach over here and just pull this around a little bit. And I'm going to show you what I'm wearing a little bit better. It is a black leather skirt, a black bodysuit, knit, fur cuffs, black to the knee boots, black suede, cuffed in black fur. I'm toasty warm. So I will see you next week. Let me see if I can find my little device here. Here it is. This is a godsend. Thanks for being here. If you enjoy it, give me a thumbs up. And I love to read your comments. Have a fabulous week and a wonderful weekend. And remember, it doesn't cost a thing to be kind. Share a smile with someone today. Namaste, my friends.